today we will discuss cases of thyroid disorders. Okay, so you already know thyroid function test, and from thyroid function test we can assess the thyroid disorders, right? What is the thyroid axis? Hypothalamus to anterior pituitary to thyroid gland. And what are the hormones? TRH from hypothalamus leading to release of TSH from anterior pituitary, and TSH leads to release of T3 T4 from thyroid gland. Okay, hoyeche. And what is the feedback mechanism? How the feedback mechanism works in thyroid hormone axis? So it has a negative feedback mechanism. Thyroid hormones, if the concentration of thyroid hormone increases, so it will negatively affect the release of TSH, and TSH will, and also TRH also. Okay, so it depends on negative feedback mechanism, right? And what happens within the thyroid gland, how thyroid hormones are formed? Trapping of iodine. Very good. So the most important element for formation of thyroid hormones are iodine. Iodine is that mineral. And what is that amino acid? Tyrosine. So tyrosine binds with iodine and form MIT and DITs within the thyroid follicles, and then is converted into T3 and T4. T3 means triiodothyronine and T4 means tetraiodothyronine. And what happens? Mostly tetraiodothyronine is formed and it is released in the circulation, and in the final organ or the final where it acts, it is converted into T3. The T4 to T3 conversion is mostly peripheral, right? And the active form of thyroid hormone is T3. T3 is the active form, not the free not the bound T3, the free T3. So it is transported via which protein? Thyroglobulin. Thyroglobulin, okay, and acts via thyroid receptor, thyroid binding receptors. Okay, so we can measure what parameters, like for thyroid function assessment or thyroid function test, which parameters we can measure, we can estimate? T3, total T3, total T4. Total means bound plus free. Okay, but you have to remember 99% of thyroid hormones in circulation are found in bound form. So it is very essential to estimate the free T3 T4 to detect whether it is hypo or hyper, actual hypo or hyper. So total will also reflect, but for specific identification we have to estimate free T3 or T4. Okay, now what else parameter can we estimate? TSH. So initially what we mostly estimate, that is TSH and T4. Okay, so it will reflect two functions, whether T4 is proper or not. If T4 is proper, then whether the feedback mechanism is okay or not. Okay, so TSH indicates the higher function, whereas T4 indicates the local function, local glandular function. Okay, so thyroid disorders can be divided into how many types? 3 types. What are they? Primary, secondary and tertiary. So primary disorders are related to any gland dysfunction. So where there is gland is not working properly, thyroid gland is not working properly. So what happens when thyroid gland is not working properly, or maybe it is working excessively? So what may happen? Hypo or hyperthyroidism. That will indicate glandular function, and the result will be either low T3 T4 or high T3 T4. Low T3 T4 indicates hypothyroidism, whereas high T3 T4 indicates hyperthyroidism. Is this simple enough to understand and remember? Hypothyroidism is identified by the concentration of T3, T4 hormones. Okay, if T3 is not given, only by T4, as T4 is majorly secreted in the secretion, in the circulation, and then the peripheral conversion occurs, right? So, from T3, T4 value, we can find whether it is hypo or hyper. Next comes whether it is primary or secondary. What kind of hypo or hyperthyroidism is this? So, we know primary is when there is only local glandular dysfunction, and secondary is when there is higher level dysfunction. The higher level from gland is anterior pituitary. So, when there is any pituitary cause or pituitary dysfunction, pituitary disorder, there will be secondary hypo or hyperthyroidism. So, what will happen in secondary hypothyroidism? First of all, remember, hypo means low T3, T4. This is universal. Okay, hypo means hypothyroidism means low T3, T4. Hyperthyroidism means high T3, T4. In primary, it will be limited to only T3, T4. Low T3, T4. In hypo, high T3, T4 in hyper. In secondary causes, as you told that it is in, the defect is in pituitary level. So, what will be the result in hypothyroidism, secondary hypothyroidism? There will be low TSH also, right? Low TSH leading to release of low T3, T4. So, there is no problem in gland level in secondary hypothyroidism, but the problem lies in the pituitary level. Is this clear? So, in secondary causes, but in primary hypothyroidism, that will lead to high TSH. Why high TSH? Because the pituitary axis is normal. The feedback mechanism will lead to secretion of more and more TSH from pituitary to stimulate the thyroid gland. The gland is not working. The gland is not secreting T3, T4 enough in concentration. So, the negative feedback of body will poke pituitary to make more TSH and to stimulate the gland. Okay. So, in primary hypothyroidism, there will be high TSH. In primary cases of thyroid disorder, there will be higher TSH, not only higher, like it will be reverse, like it will be reciprocate. Okay, right? So, when there will be low T3, T4, in primary cases, TSH will be high. Where there will be high T3, T4, in primary hyperthyroidism, TSH will be low. Is this clear? Clear? Primary hypothyroidism will show not only low T3, T4 but high TSH. And primary hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism means high T3, T4, that will be associated with low TSH. This is primary. In secondary hypothyroidism, both TSH and T3, T4 will be low. In secondary hyperthyroidism, TSH will be high. So, the initial stimulation starts in high TSH leads to secretion of high T3, T4. Is this clear? Easy enough. And tertiary level means, tertiary hyperthyroidism means hypothalamus level disorder. So, in what is that called? Aplasia, hypothalamic aplasia, when there is formation of hypothalamus is defective. Okay, so there will be hypothyroidism, tertiary hypothyroidism, there will be no TRH, no TSH, no T3, T4. In case of any hypothalamic tumor, okay, there will be tertiary hyperthyroidism. Clear? More TRH, more TSH, more T3, T4. Easy enough axis, right? What is the problem? Any problem? Tahale? Listen, now, so we will discuss few cases. Now the normal ranges. Acha, now just cholesterol level take ekটু omit kor, but T3, T4, TSH এর normal range. This is total T3, T4, TSH. Okay, total T3, T4 and TSH. So, the values they can change from these value to another value if the unit changes. Okay, right? So, this here we can see T3 value 120 to 190, that is nanogram per dl, and T4 is 5 to 12 microgram per dl, whereas TSH is 0.5 to 5 micro unit per ml. আর কেউ আছে? দরজা খুলে রাখ, ওর একটু প্রবলেম আছে, ঠিক আছে? ওকে, হয়েছে? সো ইজ দিস ক্লিয়ার? দ্য ভ্যালুজ, so values will be provided, ঠিক আছে? values will be provided, you don't have to like strictly remember these values right now, but TSH value you can remember, it is up to 5. Okay, so it is very easy. TSH value remains more or less same and the unit remains more or less same, so it is up to 5, like up to 5 TSH is within normal. Now look, when will be high and when it will be low. So T3 T4 high means hyperthyroidism. In cases of hyperthyroidism it will be high, and TSH will be high in primary hypothyroidism, and also it can be high in secondary hyperthyroidism, right? In case of secondary hyperthyroidism also TSH can be high, and low, T3 T4 will be low in hypothyroidism and TSH will be low in hyperthyroidism and secondary hypothyroidism, right? Is this clear? Okay, so কোলেস্টেরলটা পরে আসে, কোলেস্টেরলটা একটা চার্টে দেওয়া আছে বলে কোলেস্টেরল দেখতে হবে, we will discuss it later. Okay, so cholesterol value normal within 200, 150 to 200 milligram per dl, এটা পরে বলছি, পরে ডিসকাস করছি. So this is the first case. Okay, so this is the first case. Now here no patient history or patient symptoms given. Okay, but there will be a proper clinical case presentation. Okay, so now discuss what are the symptoms of hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. What is the function of thyroid hormone? What is the main function of thyroid? So BMR বাড়ায়, how? Metabolism. So thyroid hormones. Hey, what is your problem? What is the problem? Why are you discussing something else? Huh? Any problem? কি হয়েছে? Like it is kind of distracting me. Okay, so discuss it after the class. Anything, if anything, কি হয়েছে বল? If anything is serious, you can go out and finish the work and then come. Okay. So what is what I was telling? Function of thyroid hormone. What is the function of thyroid hormone? So it is a catabolic hormone. Thyroid hormones are catabolic in nature. Catabolic means it enhances the catabolic reactions. Okay, not the anabolic ones. So what happens? Like our metabolic processes run smoothly. Right? So for all our metabolic processes and daily activity, thyroid hormone is important. So when there is hypothyroidism, metabolism will be slow, leading to anabolic phase. So catabolism will be slow. So anabolic phase will rise, and that will lead to accumulation of the substrates. Like, so what will be the result? So there will be obesity, weight gain. Okay, weight gain, and there will be inflammations because of that accumulation. Okay, that unnatural accumulation will lead to inflammation. That inflammation will keep on drawing fluid retention will be there. So that will lead to edema, edematous state, edema, fluid load, and then obesity. And also this is accompanied with various other symptoms like fatigue. Okay, fatigue, then cold intolerance, dry skin, and hoarseness of voice, and hoarseness will be because of the fluid accumulation in the vocal cord area. Okay, and slow reflexes, depression. Okay, so all these things can happen. Sleepiness. Okay, so these will be the symptoms of hypothyroid case when there is low T3 T4, right? And exact opposite will be seen in hyperthyroidism. So there will be weight loss, weight loss because of high metabolism. The patient will have like more or normal appetite or increased appetite, and but there will be weight loss. And what else? What specific findings? Tremor, tachycardia, and exophthalmos. What is exophthalmos? Bulging out of eyeballs. Okay, and why this happens? Okay, we will discuss why this happens. Okay, so these are the features of hyperthyroidism. Clear, right? So the here no history or no clinical symptoms are provided, but there may be some clinical symptoms and history also, like demographic history also. What kind of demographic history will be evident in such cases? Hypothyroidism, iodine deficiency, and this is seen in Healy area. So the question can be like 35-year female from Healy region came to your OPD with history of fatigue and weight gain over last 3 months, and she is also having hoarseness of voice and dry skin or skin rashes, skin itching, everything. So now what will be your provisional diagnosis and how will you come to your diagnosis? What is the investigation you will suggest? What will be the treatment? So this will be the question for you, okay, for your level. So from first of all we have to separate the symptoms. Okay, we have to identify, point out the symptoms. So the symptoms and the history, like Healy area, maybe iodine deficiency, and then weight gain, hoarseness of voice, everything, like all the symptoms present, whichever will be suggesting to hypothyroidism, right? And then we will suggest for the thyroid function test. Thyroid function test, we will look for TSH value and T3, T4 value. So we found such value, right? So look at the values. T3 is low, T4 is low, TSH is high, and cholesterol is also high. Okay, so primary hypothyroidism, very good, primary hypothyroidism. Now coming to the questions. So we already came to the diagnosis, that is primary hypothyroidism. What is happening here? I have already discussed the negative feedback here, as T3, T4 is low, that will lead to high TSH, right? Very good, high TSH. Okay, now এইগুলোর ছবি না তুললেও পারিস, যে চার্টটা দিয়ে দেবো আমি, ফিজিক্যাল চার্টটার ছবি তুলে রাখিস, কারণ ফিজিক্যাল চার্টটাই থাকবে, ঠিক আছে? তো এটা মনে নাও থাকতে পারে। ওকে, নাও ক্লিনিক্যাল ফিচার্স কি কি থাকতে পারে? হোয়াট ইজ মিক্সেডিমা? So it is a symptom for hypothyroidism, and what is meant by myxedema? It is a combination of symptoms: facial puffiness, okay, fluid retention. Because of the fluid retention, there will be edematous face known as myxedema, and there will be, what are the other symptoms? Cold intolerance, weight gain, bradycardia, constipation, dry skin, macroglossia. Macroglossia means enlargement of tongue. Okay, enlargement of tongue. Lethargy, menorrhagia. What is menorrhagia? Heavy painful bleeding, menstrual bleeding. Okay, delayed reflexes. Last but not least, we have a hyperlipidemia. Why there will be hyperlipidemia? Slow metabolism. But there is another specific reason for hyperlipidemia, that is, in thyroid hormone normal level, it helps in stimulation of LDL receptors in liver. Okay, it upregulates LDL receptors, so it is a catabolic process. It will help in upregulation of cholesterol from blood circulation and use it. Okay, so via the LDL receptors, cholesterol will be taken up from the circulation and it will be catabolized to form either bile salts, bile acids, or to form vitamin D or other hormones, various steroid hormones. Okay, so in case of hypothyroidism, that LDL receptor will not be the up to the mark concentration, so there will be no uptake of cholesterol. So that will lead to accumulation of cholesterol in blood. Okay, so that will lead to hypercholesterolemia. So when found that the person is having hypothyroidism, so we have to give, like after the diagnosis is confirmed that the person is having hypothyroidism, we have to send that person for lipid profile test also. Okay, why? So high cholesterol is risky because accumulation of cholesterol will lead to atherosclerosis and CVA and heart attack. Okay, right? So what are the other tests done? So serum lipid profile we can give. So if we measure BMR, so it will show low BMR. Okay, and radioactive iodine uptake to assess whether this is because of iodine deficiency or not. So what could be the causes of hypothyroidism? Now you have to know, like from the chart you can be asked various types. If you can answer one question, then you will be asked the next question. So after the test you have to identify what is the reason behind this hypothyroidism. So what is the reason, what are the causes of hypothyroidism? First of all, it could be because of iodine deficiency, and then antibodies against thyroid receptors, thyroglobulins. Okay, then anemia can also be ruled out. Okay, fine. So this case is understood, easy. Now what is the treatment? Now we have hypothyroid patient. How to treat? We have to give supplement of thyroxine, okay, or T4. So that is Thyronon, L-thyroxine, we will give L-thyroxine. Start at higher dose, then we have to adjust to lower doses. Now here for the second case, a 42-year-old female came with these symptoms. Okay, what are the symptoms? Protruding eye, sleeplessness, insomnia, then irritability, palpitation, weight loss. So what will you suggest? আগে বল কি করতে দিবি, তোর কাছে এলেই তো তুই দেখে বলে দিবি না আপনার কিন্তু প্রাইমারি হাইপারথাইরয়েডিজম হয়েছে। সো কি বলবি, কি দেখবি? প্রথমে তো ফার্স্ট অফ অল ওয়েট লস হিস্ট্রি আছে, প্রোট্রুডিং আইবলস আছে। প্রোট্রুডিং আইবলস দেখে হোয়াট ডু ইউ মিন বাই প্রোট্রুডিং আইবলস? বেরিয়ে তো আসবে। এন্ড হোয়াট এলস? So our cornea means the transparent part over iris, right? So that is, the upper part is partly covered by the upper lid. In exophthalmos, whole of the cornea will be visible. Okay, and the eyeballs will be protruding out, right? So exophthalmos or protruding eyes not only means the bulging eyeballs, but you have to look for the look to your next person, like the upper part of cornea is covered by the eyelid. When it is visible, freely visible, the whole of cornea freely visible, then it is kind of exophthalmos, right? Okay, then weight loss and irritability. So you can see the protruding eyeball, you can see irritability, you can measure palpation, that is tachycardia. Palpation means rapid heartbeat, tachycardia. Weight loss, she will give the history of weight loss. I have lost 10 to 12 kgs over last 1.5 months, okay? And she will give history of insomnia also. Then you will suggest, so from the symptoms you are like coming to your diagnosis or coming to your provisional diagnosis or probable diagnosis, you are thinking of thyroid disease, thyroid disorder, okay? So then you have to suggest a investigation. What kind of investigation? The thyroid function test. So you will ask her to do a thyroid function test and report. come with the report. Okay, so then she came with the report of this. So here we can see T3 is high, T4 is high, whereas TSH is very low. Okay, so it is confirmed that she is having a primary kind of hyperthyroidism, right? Okay, now so provisional diagnosis, and what are the causes of primary hyperthyroidism? You know the symptoms by now. What are the causes? What are the causes? হাইপারথাইরয়েডিজমের কজ কি হতে পারে? প্রাইমারি হাইপারথাইরয়েডিজম, এক্সেস গ্ল্যান্ডুলার অ্যাক্টিভিটি, এক্সেস গ্ল্যান্ডুলার অ্যাক্টিভিটি। সো সেটা কেন হতে পারে? হাই আয়োডিন ইনটেক যদি হয় সেখানে হতে পারে, টু এলিমিনেট দ্য হাই আয়োডিন অ্যাবজর্বড অর ইনজেস্টেড, সো that can be result into hyperthyroidism, primary hyperthyroidism. The tumors, any kind of tumor of, and the enlargement of thyroid gland is known as goiter, but not all goiter leads to hyperthyroidism. Okay, in case of hypothyroidism also, the in effect of high TSH there can be glandular overgrowth, but in case of that happens mostly in case of iodine deficiency, because there is no iodine. So increased glands also, or in enlarged glands also are not able to form enough T3 T4. But what happens here, in cases of toxic goiters or nodular multinodular goiters, there will be high secretion of T3 T4, okay, irrespective of the TSH value. Now, so that is called as, in case that happens mostly in case of Graves disorder, Graves disease. Okay, it is because of, it is kind of autoimmune hyperthyroidism. Okay, now other test, what are the test to come to the diagnosis whether there is any antibody related autoimmune disorder? So we have to go for the test for antithyroid receptor antibodies, okay, like TSH receptor antibodies, and iodine uptake also, whether there is high iodine concentration or not, and anti-TPO antibodies we can test also. Okay, so in cholesterol here will be low, right? In hyperthyroidism. Now, what is the mechanism of exophthalmos in Graves disease? Look here, in Graves disease we generally find that there is a TSH receptor antibody, immunoglobulin, that mimics TSH. Okay, but it is not TSH, it mimics TSH, immunoglobulin mimicking the TSH, so it acts with TSH receptors. Okay, so there is no high TSH, but immunoglobulins mimicking TSH or antibodies mimicking TSH, that will lead to stimulation of thyroid glands and resulting in excess thyroid secretion. Now what happens, they also activate the orbital fibroblasts. Okay, there is fibrotic tissue around our eyeballs, so there will be activation of orbital fibroblast leading to formation of more glycosaminoglycans, and we all know glycosaminoglycans are the structural form of extracellular matrix, and they will lead to water retention. Okay, so water retention will lead to swelling of retroorbital space, and that will lead to, retroorbital means posterior part of the eyeball, so retroorbital space swelling will lead to forward protrusion of the eyeball. Okay, that is the cause of exophthalmos. Okay, so is this clear? Clear though? Okay, why T3 elevated more proportionally? Like if you see the sorry, if you see the value, you can see T3 is higher than T4, like so why? Because more T4 is formed, and in peripheral tissue it is more converted into T3. Okay, and what biochemical test pattern confirms primary or secondary hyperthyroidism? So the TSH, if it goes opposite, it is primary, if it goes in the same direction, it is secondary. Okay, yeah. And this is the same case without the cholesterol. Okay, this is the same case as the first one, just only without cholesterol. Okay, so one more thing, hypothyroidism can also be seen post thyroidectomy, post thyroidectomy. So every patient who will be suffering from any kind of tumor, goiter, Graves disease, anything, like if required thyroidectomy is done, and then supplement is must. Okay, if supplement is stopped, then it can lead to hypothyroidism. And the reverse case can also happen. Suppose you are treating a patient with supplement, and over supplementation can lead to hyperthyroidism, that is iatrogenic. Iatrogenic means from the drug itself, medicine, iatrogenic. Okay, iatrogenic, IATROGENIC, iatrogenic. Iatrogenic means anything from the medicine itself. Okay, so this is clear to? আর কিছু থাকলো এখানে? আর কিছু নেই. Okay, now so hypo and hyperthyroidism cases are clear to everyone. Okay, so if any case, any clinical case scenario is given, you have to look for, first of all, look for the symptoms, because when patient will come to you, he or she will not bring the report at the first visit. Okay, so you have to look for the sign and symptoms. So we have already discussed the sign and symptoms. So weight gain, hoarseness of voice, and sluggishness, fatigue, history of depression, and cold intolerance, everything will suggest hypothyroidism. Whereas the opposites like tachycardia, weight loss, sleeplessness, and everything will suggest hypothyroidism along with proptosis. Okay, exophthalmos. Now you have to suggest blood test, and after that, from the report, you have to come to your diagnosis, and you have to go for the treatment. And not only treatment, you have to follow up. And thyroid cases like hypo or hyperthyroidism. Acha, what's the treatment for hyperthyroidism? Hyperthyroidism, iodine restriction, and there are few drugs that inhibit the conversion of T4 to T3. Okay, carbimazole, propyl thiouracil, these are the drugs. Okay, so which are used in hyperthyroid. Done. Okay, so we will move to our next case. Next case is Wilson's disease. Wilson's disease occurs when, and it is related to copper metabolism. Okay, so basically what is the copper metabolism? So copper is absorbed from intestinal tract, and it is transported to liver, and there it is attached with apoceruloplasmin. It is, the uptake is done by ATPase 7B, P-type ATPase. Okay, P-type ATPase, and that helps in formation of ceruloplasmin. Okay, so apoceruloplasmin binds with copper to form ceruloplasmin. Ceruloplasmin is the copper containing protein, and it helps in release of copper in bile. So the function, and it is excreted via bile. Okay, that is how the metabolism is maintained. Okay, now what happens in Wilson? There is accumulation of copper. Accumulation of copper occurs because of the defective uptake of copper in liver. So where the defect lies, the ATPase, P-type ATPase, that was responsible for uptake of copper from circulation, and which was leading to the bind of apoceruloplasmin with copper to form ceruloplasmin, that is defective. Okay, and that is because of a genetic mutation. Okay, so where there is a mutation in chromosome 13, the gene is ATP7B. Okay, ATP7B. So it will lead to formation of defective or absent ATPase that helps in formation of ceruloplasmin. Okay, so here a clinical case is presented. A patient presented with seizure appeared weak and tired. Physical examination revealed brown pigment ring in the cornea and hepatomegaly. Simple features are given. But what happens? Now, when there is defect in ADPase, so it will lead to accumulation of copper in liver and it will lead to backflow. It will come into the systemic circulation. It will go to all the organs and will be deposited over there. Okay, so what are the organs that where the copper can be deposited? Brain, heart, kidney, eye. Okay, so what will be the outcome? What will be the outcome? In liver also. So mostly it will be deposited in liver, right? So it will lead to hepatomegaly. Hepatomegaly means enlargement of liver. So deposition of extra copper will lead to hepatomegaly. Then it can go to brain, heart and kidney and eye. Okay, so if it goes to our eyes, it will be deposited in our cornea around the iris. Okay, and it will lead to formation of a pigmented ring, brown, greenish, okay, a golden ring. Okay, that is known as Kesher-Fleischer ring. Okay, that is a very specific identification symptom or finding in case of Wilson's disease. Okay, now it can also be deposited into brain, parts of our brain, and that will lead to various neurological manifestations. Like here, what is present? Neurological manifestation, seizure. The patient is presenting with seizure. So if you ask the patient to walk straight, there may be ataxia. What is ataxia? Disoriented gaits. Okay, or patient will be unable to walk straight. So that is ataxia. There can be tremor. If you ask the patient to hold an object, there will be tremor. Okay. Dysarthria. Dysarthria means articulation. Okay, problem in articulation. Articulation means speaking problem. Okay, he will be unable to speak properly. And other psychiatric symptoms like depression, psychosis, irritability can be seen. And Kesher-Fleischer ring is seen in slit lamp examination. Slit lamp examination of our cornea will find the Kesher-Fleischer ring. Okay. Now, deposition of copper in liver will lead to hepatomegaly and can lead to cirrhosis, hepatitis or liver failure. Okay. So, that from this point, what could be the other finding, like we will look for in our investigation. So, liver function test we can also suggest. Okay. And hematological, there if the copper is deposited in blood and other organs like bone marrows and all, also because of liver deposition, there will be hemolytic anemia also, which will be Coombs negative. Okay, there will be no antibody. Coombs test is done to detect whether there is any antibody against the RBCs or not, but there will be Coombs negative hemolytic anemia. Okay. So, the probable diagnosis here from the symptoms again will be Wilson's disease. It is an autosomal recessive disorder where the disorder lies in chromosome 13 gene ATP7B, okay, causing defective copper excretion and leading to copper accumulation in liver, brain, eye, kidney. Okay, defective ATP7 copper B transporter protein fail to incorporate copper into ceruloplasmin, that will lead to low serum ceruloplasmin, right? And copper will not be excreted in bile, excess copper will be deposited into tissue and free copper will be elevated. Now, one thing, most of the copper is found in bound form again, okay, bound with ceruloplasmin. So, if we measure ceruloplasmin level, it will be low as ceruloplasmin is not being produced, right? So, copper uptake is defective. So, it is leading to defective copper, defective ceruloplasmin formation. But free copper is increasing, right? So, free circulating copper will be increasing. So, if we estimate total copper, it will show a decrease because there is low ceruloplasmin, and total copper means ceruloplasmin bound copper plus free copper. So, if we measure total copper, it will show a different result, it will show low value. But if we test free copper, the ratio of free copper is to total copper or bound copper will be high. right? And what will be high? Urinary copper excretion. So high urinary copper excretion alone cannot balance the excess copper. That is why copper accumulation occurs. Fine. So clinical features, there will be tremor, dysarthria, dysphagia. What is dysphagia? Problem in eating. Okay. Swallowing, not swelling, sorry. Personality changes like psychiatric problems can be there, hemolytic anemia and renal tubular acidosis. As because there is deposition of copper in the tubular cells, there will be tubular acidosis leading to Fanconi syndrome. Okay, osteoporosis can be there, and typical sunflower cataract is found. Cardiomyopathy also be seen because of excess copper accumulation. Okay, lab finding, ceruloplasmin level will be very low, less than 20 microgram per dl. So normal it is 18 to 35 around, and in case of Wilson's disease, ceruloplasmin level will be low. So Wilson's disease, copper is high but ceruloplasmin is low. Okay, so serum free copper will rise, 24-hour urinary copper will also rise. Now what will be the other diagnostic methods? Other diagnostic methods, like we can go for LFT we can do, but it will not be very confirmatory. We can also go for MRI to see whether there is any deposit in brain or not. Copper deposition in brain will be seen in MRI. So a case can be presented as such. The patient came with tremor, ataxia, dysarthria, such neurological problems, not with Wilson's till now. Okay, and if not hepatomegaly. Okay, so if in slit lamp examination, the Kesher-Fletcher ring is seen, that will suggest to copper deposition, and for further neurological evaluation we can go for MRI also. Okay, for confirmatory diagnosis we can do liver biopsy to see whether the copper concentration in dry tissue is high or not. So it will be very high. Okay, LFT will be abnormal. What portions, what parameters will be mostly deranged? The liver enzymes will be deranged, bilirubin will be high. Okay, so hepatitis will be there, accumulation of copper will lead to irritation of the tissue, hepatic cells will lead to inflammation, lead to hepatitis, leading to increased liver enzymes, AST, ALT will be increased, and very pathognomonic finding is KF ring. Okay, so এটা ওই আগেরটাই থাইরয়েড অ্যাক্সিসের সামারি ডান বোঝা গেছে উইলসন কেস আসলে পারবি থাইরয়েড ডিসঅর্ডারস আসলে পারবি এগুলো দেখে নে মেইনলি এগুলোর মধ্যেই এই সেম জিনিস এখানেই আছে ওকে সো দিস ইজ দ্য থাইরয়েড অ্যাক্সিস hypothalamus releases TRH which stimulates the anterior pituitary to release TSH further stimulates the thyroid gland to release T3 and T4. So in primary hypothyroidism, we will see low T3, T4, high TSH and cholesterol will be high. In primary hyperthyroidism, T3, T4 will be high, whereas TSH will be low, cholesterol will be low again. And secondary, both the parameters will go in the same direction. Okay, few MCQs are there. Patient with high T3, T4, low TSH, primary hyperthyroidism. KF ring is pathognomonic of Wilson's disease. Primary hypothyroidism, cholesterol will be elevated. সব তো ঠিক দেওয়াই আছে. Gene mutated in Wilson's disease encodes. Acha, look, this question is tricky. Gene mutated in Wilson's disease encodes, not ceruloplasmin. It will be ATPase. ঠিক আছে? It is a tricky question. ঠিক আছে? এই চারটে কেস ছিল, এগুলোর এটা চারটে ফাইন্ডিং।